to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and if you're listening to this, it might be because you've got a real desire to have really good sleep. And this is a sleep hypnosis session with a difference, and that's because it uses levels of disassociation. If you've ever seen the movie Inception, you'll get the idea of dreams within dreams within dreams, and I talk at conferences all around the world on nested loops. And what I find is that levels of disassociation, where you start in one place, go somewhere else, acts a lot like nested loops, which can really enrich levels of disassociation and levels of really accessing that kind of place where you get really good quality, either hypnosis, and that can easily transfer into sleep. Now, this starts in one place, takes you somewhere else, with the opportunity to choose the kind of bed. And there's lots of sleep suggestions, metaphors, and very powerful techniques in this that can really enhance sleep. So if you struggle with sleep, you might get some benefit from this. Now, a lot of people are looking for good sleep. So if you do get a really good night's sleep as a result of this, or each time you listen, you find yourself drifting off to sleep, please put a comment when you get a chance, because that will then give some kind of reassurance to other people that are also looking for good sleep. Now, I'm not going to have an outro at the end of this one. It's just going to be following this explanation. You're then going to hear the hypnosis. But if you do want a version of this, which is just the hypnosis and nothing else, there's two things you can do. You can either get a subscriber version of this through Spotify, which is just a few cents a day, and you can access lots of hypnosis and just the hypnosis without the intro and the outro and the explanation. Or I have something called the Hypnotist's Secret Circle, which is my archive of over 1,000 hypnosis sessions. Again, it's just the hypnosis, and you can actually download that and listen whenever is useful. And there's a whole section there about sleep. So look in the description for those. And if you like the idea of working with me directly, there will be a link to schedule a free 30-minute Zoom call. We'll have a chat, and it might be that I work with you directly. But for now, find a quiet, comfortable place, ideally your bed, and just relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, give permission to release. Release any feelings of tension, any stress, any worries. And not all at once, but every time you breathe out, give permission to release a bit more. And I wonder if you can scan your body for any clues of tension, tightness, heaviness, sometimes around the jaw, the neck, or the shoulders. As you breathe in, imagine a color that represents safety, security, and relaxation. You decide the color, and imagine breathing in that color of safety, security, and relaxation. And imagine it goes in through your nose, down your windpipe, into your lungs. And just imagine your heart starts distributing that feeling of safety and relaxation to every cell in your body. And I want you to focus on where any tension, any resistance may be. Imagine the color going to that part of your body and diluting it, releasing it. That's it. So that as you breathe out, imagine a darker color representing any tension, any worries, any insecurities just leaving your body as you breathe out. Consider this an emotional transfusion. As you breathe in that color of safety and relaxation, your body relaxes. And as you breathe out any tension and insecurities, your body can relax even more. As your body accepts that you are safe right here and right now. As you accept the suggestion that the safer you feel, the more relaxed you can be. And the more relaxed you can be, the safer you feel. A wonderful flywheel of ever increasing relaxation. I want you to imagine that your body, feeling more and more relaxed, stays where it is. But allow your imagination to go on an adventure. Imagine floating up out of your body, seeing yourself looking more and more relaxed with every breath. And allow your imagination to go on a vacation within your imagination. I want you to imagine what your unconscious believes is the safest city or place on the planet. And just imagine floating to that place. Maybe you're floating over oceans, cities, and deserts. And just imagine finding the safest place in the safest city. Maybe a resort, maybe a house, or maybe perhaps you could imagine a palace. The kind of palace that royalty would stay in, protected with a perimeter fence, barbed wire, security guards and cameras. And maybe your unconscious would believe that with all of that security, that palace in the safest place in the world would feel very safe. So imagine floating there into that place. And I want you to imagine you are finding yourself inside. I want you to imagine you are on one of the top floors, and you're seeing an impressive marble staircase. And this marble staircase takes you down a level. And on that level is a choice of 3 different bedrooms, each bedroom with a different bed. Just like Goldilocks, able to choose what is most comfortable, most relaxing. But for now, you're at the top of the staircase, in the safest place, in the safest city. And very soon, I will count down from 10 to 1. And with each descending number, you will imagine descending the staircase, moving you from the conscious to the unconscious mind. With each descending number, you will feel 10% deeper and deeper relaxed, particularly your eyelids, jaw, neck, and shoulders. 10, taking the first step down the staircase, immediately feeling more relaxed. 9, another step down, jaw loosening, eyelids getting heavier. 8, another step down the staircase. As you notice you're breathing in for longer and out for longer. That's it. 8 becomes 7. And I want you to see if you can detect your heartbeat or a pulse. There's a pulse in your wrist, your neck. Or perhaps you can feel your heart beating. And just allow that sound, that rhythm to be hypnotic, taking you deeper and deeper relaxed. 7 becomes 6. Now notice the heaviness, the looseness of your arms. 5, halfway down the staircase now, drifting deeper and deeper down. 4, now you become aware of a release of any sensations of worry, anxiety, maybe in the chest, the gut, or somewhere else. Just allow it to leave your body. As 4 becomes 3, just imagine dialing down and turning down the volume of any inner dialogue. That's it. No need for it here. 3 becomes 2, feeling your legs limp, loose and heavy. And 1, the final step before 0. Reaching 1 floor beneath. And I want you to feel like Goldilocks in a fairy tale. 3 bedrooms in the safest place in the safest city. Imagine 3 entirely different beds. And I want you to try them on. To choose which bed would be the comfiest and the easiest to feel that you could drift off into a dream-like sleep. And maybe one of them is a bit too firm. And maybe one of them is a bit too soft. But of the 3 rooms, when you find the room and the bed that feels the most comfortable, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. Now, lighting is important when drifting off to sleep, so just imagine the lighting is perfect to feel drowsy. And you felt drowsy before, many times. A time when the harder you tried to stay awake, the more drowsy you became. Maybe you were trying to read a book or look at something on your phone and you just couldn't hold it up. And I want you to reawaken that neural pathway to feel that drowsy. Feel like you're sinking into that bed. And as you drift off into that dream-like sleep, I want you to recall a time when you felt so tired you couldn't stay awake. I want you to imagine that you're dreaming that you're tired somewhere else, somewhere more like your own home. Maybe it's been a few days that were busy. And I want you to feel like you felt back then, unable to keep your eyes open, a desire to yawn, a feeling that your head is just nodding off. And I want you to imagine in your own bed feeling that way, head on a pillow, drifting off, so that you now access a dream within a dream. And I want you to imagine that in this dream, this is a dream of optimism. In this dream, you exist as a version of you that focuses on all the reasons why things will be fine. I want you to imagine navigating your life, dreaming that you're this version of you. When a worry or a thought comes up, you dismiss it instantly. I'll be fine. And more of that inner dialogue is focused on an absolute sense of confidence that everything will work out fine. I want you to imagine in this place, you've released some of the baggage of the past. When people grow up with chaos, they try and mitigate chaos with control. And I want you to feel that can make someone highly resourceful, independent, highly accomplished. But it can also cause overthinking. And I want you to imagine in that dream within a dream, you find a control room, almost like you have access to how your brain works. And maybe you imagine that as a room with lots of dials and gauges, control panels and switches. And I want you to imagine walking into that control room. And I want you to see a dial with a switch that says thinking there in the middle, overthinking on the right, and underthinking on the left. And maybe you can imagine seeing that dial is set to overthinking, trying to second guess every eventuality. But as you recall from the past, a certain percentage of your worries, concerns, and fears and insecurities never came to pass. And that doesn't mean you want to underthink, but just dial it back to thinking. The time to mitigate risk is when you've got evidence that the risk is real. And when you've dialed that down to just normal, everyday thinking, let me know by nodding your head. And feel the shift in your body. And then I want you to see a dial that represents optimism and pessimism. If pessimism is there to protect, which it is, it means focusing on everything that can go wrong. But I want you to imagine switching it all the way to optimism, that you will assume that you will sleep well. You will assume that things will work out fine. And you will deal with problems as they arise, not 10 moves in advance. Because life is not a game of chess. It makes sense to plan for the future, but not to preempt every pitfall. So as you dial it all the way up to optimism, I want you to see a screen there in that control room. And I want you to see what your future looks like with a mind that looks for how things can all work out fine. See yourself with a more relaxed facial expression. See yourself preparing for an interview, but not over-preparing. See yourself with that kind of mentality that whatever life brings you, you'll make the most of it, and it will all work out fine. Because sometimes humans have a tendency to put way too much pressure on themselves, and then they feel guilty if they're not living up to those high expectations, anxious if they can't control what is out of their control. But in this optimistic future, I want you to imagine yourself with someone with the expression that things will be fine, and if they're not, you'll deal with it. A pragmatic optimist. And I want you to see in that version of you how much better that version of you sleeps. Rather than thinking of everything that might not work out, that version of you assumes that everything's going to be fine. And I want you to see that version of you sleeping for longer. I want you to see that version of you that reminds you of a version of you that, even if it was just for a few days, was almost sleeping too much. And then imagine drifting into the screen and feeling what it would feel like to have that level of optimism, overthinking dialed all the way down to normal thinking. And just imagine getting ready to go to bed in your bed, in your reality. A dream within a dream, within a dream within a dream. Imagine it's 10 minutes before bedtime. Imagine there's a ritual. Getting ready. Imagine the lighting, the temperature, any sounds, and feel what it would feel like to be about to have the best night's sleep you've ever had. Imagine wearing whatever you'd be wearing. Imagine your head on a pillow, how thick the covers are, how soft the mattress is. And just imagine what it would be like to have the kind of sleep where you deep sleep, where instead of waking up drained, you wake up recharged and rejuvenated, where you wake up with so much energy that you don't need caffeine because you've got so much energy anyway. Imagine that kind of sleep. And very soon, I will count from 1 to 10. If you're listening this, and there is no intention to sleep at this time, then when I count from 1 to 10, you will awaken, but you will recreate this feeling of relaxation, drowsiness, and an optimistic idea that you will have incredible sleep the very next time you find your head resting on a pillow with your eyes closed. But if you're listening to this and your head is already on the pillow and your eyes are already closed, then when I count from 1 to 10, it will simply take you deeper and more relaxed to that place where you will indulge in deep, rejuvenating sleep and only awaken when it is time to awaken. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.